Work. When you're a kid, you hate the idea that someday you'll have to get a job and work at some place with a bunch of strangers. Well, I know I did. But when you do get said job and work at said place, you realize it may not be so bad. Depending on the place you work at, it might be the best experience of your life or the worst. But most importantly, depending on whatever experience you have, there is one truth you can never escape. And after you leave a job, you'll look back and say, it wasn't the money, but the friends I made. I'm playing. It's all about the money. Speaking of the friends though, you'll meet some. So to keep this interesting, I'm gonna use NBA players to sort of describe the archetypes you might bump into. We'll start from the coolest to the weirdest. So without further ado, let's talk about the guys leading the shift, the managers. The Phil Jacksons are the cool managers. They're cool to everybody no matter what. They understand what they gotta do to get a perfect shift. And if you're a Dennis Rodman type who sometimes needs to get away for a bit, then he'll understand as long as you come into work 100%. Of course, problem with these managers is they probably won't last long because the manager above is gonna be a hater. That's really their only con, but you may become their friend later on and might still talk to them afterwards. Depending on who you are, this is a bad manager or a really good manager. But one thing everyone is going to say about him is he's going to be sort of mean to everyone. It isn't out of bad intentions, he just wants the perfect shift. But since this isn't the NBA, this guy's going to be looked at with 50% dislike and 50% like. Like I said, it really depends on the type of worker you are, and he may occasionally crash out on the shift, but overall, okay manager. Now, it's about to go from 50-50 to 0-100 because this manager here is not likable no matter how you slice it. Well, not an NBA reference. The one I was going to use is going to be for a later archetype. Anyways, this manager is not likable and even a little creepy. These managers are weird. So if you're a woman, not gonna lie, this is the type of dude you want to stay away from. If you're a guy, your life will be miserable because the manager is just going to dislike you because you're not. That concludes our manager archetypes. So let's go to the co-worker archetypes.
I was about to tell you earlier, I was about to say when you were saying even the equipment managers need to do better.
The Tim Duncans are always team-oriented, but the coolest part about them is they're the coolest workers. They're gonna make sure you feel involved some way, somehow. The Tim Duncans are a solid worker, but there's not really a lot to say about them. These guys are going to carry the shift hard. They will do the hustle and all the work, so the shift will excel. Of course, to the outside, these guys are gonna be looked at as rude, but once you get to know them outside of work, they're actually kind of cool. But if they see anyone not working as hard, they're gonna start fuming.
Because after all that, they took him off the court.
And that ain't a bad thing. Also, they might leave or get fired because they literally can't stand the work ethic of this place. The Eric Bledsoe is an average guy who will literally just do what he is told. Nothing more and nothing less. He is cool, but he won't do much. He doesn't wow you. He's just like, oh man, that's an average dude. The J.R. Smiths. The J.R. Smiths are the insufferable workers. You will often see these guys on their phones and will find every way to not do work. These guys do not get along with a lot of the managers or the Jimmy Butler types. And more often than not, these guys are quick to get fired, unfortunately. Personality-wise, these guys are cool, but you know they could work a little harder. Karl Malone. Judging by the name, you probably already know where I'm about to go with this. And yeah, their motto is, I'm not saying it because I don't want to. You will probably meet some of these archetypes. Depending on the job act, you might even be one of these guys. But remember, it's all about the journey, not the money. Just kidding. Get the money, bro.